through all the school year terms and fitness a little bit more than anybody else. Hi everybody, Koustyles here and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, I create videos around simple, easy styling tips for your everyday wear. If that interests you, join the community and hit that subscribe button and say hello in the comment section below, and also let me know what you thought of this video. There's a sense of energy, charisma, and aura that surrounds people who know how to be themselves. They don't chase after anyone or anything and continues to take up space in this world just as they are. And that's something that I strive for every day. And for me, fashion was something and it continues to be something that helps me establish myself as who I am in this world. I also moved around growing up and had fashion as my suit of armor. It was something that enabled me. It's something that empowered me. It was a tool that I used to help me fit in but also stand out, really helped me establish myself and find who I was through all these years. And in the famous words of Rihanna, I've always thought to myself, she could beat me, but she could not beat my outfit. I've always loved fashion that is both artistic and functional. I felt like the magic of fashion really came to life when worn and not just simply displayed. I also feel that the fascination and the appreciation we have for couture really stems from this. Couture is defined as the design and manufacture of fashionable clothes to a client's specific requirements and measurement. So it's the fact that the design is made for that one person. It's meant to adorn and hug just the right places for whoever wears it. And I think that is really the epitome of what makes fashion beautiful, where it's both the artistic direction, but also the functional and appreciation of whoever wears the garment. And I think this really helped me realize that the centerpiece of anything fashion has to be the wearer themselves. So my desire to pursue fashion in a stable way was to attend school and learn all about it, the ins and outs, and pursue my career as a buyer. And attending the Fashion Institute of Technology may not have been the finest financial decision I've made, but it was by far and continues to be one of the best life decisions I made for myself yet. I really learned a lot, from the intricate chemical component makeups of fabrication to how the economy and the world event influence the structure of the industry itself, and also interestingly how our strong brands as we know it today really came to be. And studying fashion was by far the easiest studying I've ever done in my life, and being surrounded by such talented and motivated people, it was truly intoxicating. So studying fashion and being in the industry for a couple of years and in the weeds of the industry, I quickly became aware that fashion was treated as this very exclusive elite club that is only known to a selected few. And like any industries, fashion industry came with its stereotypes that I really found myself not relating to and finding it hard to really continue pursuing a career within. From the outside, we were these cool, cutthroat, and often cold group of individuals. And from the inside, I really felt that we were all in this imaginary race to really be associated with the next big thing. These traits aren't exclusive to fashion, but I really feel like they were exaggerated because of the nature of the industry. I think my realization as I really took myself away from the industry, the standards, the expectations, and continued to pursue fashion in my own defined way, I think it really reminded me that fashion could be anything you want it to be. In reality, you and I dress ourselves every day. I mean, no shade to our nudist communities out there, peace and love. The point really isn't whether or not you're wearing your high school band t-shirt or the one-of-a-kind runway couture. Because at the end of the day, it's what we choose to wear and identify ourselves with. So a lot of people ask me, what do you think of my outfit? And while I like to give tips and advice, my answer will always be, if it makes you feel good and look good, that is possibly the best outfit that anyone can come up with. My biggest inspiration for my channel comes from wanting to demystify, simplify, and humanize fashion for you guys. What I really want is to provide styling tips that you could leverage as a tool so that you can help empower and enable yourself through the clothings that you wear. Despite my utmost respect for notable brands and craftsmanship, I really want to focus on falling in love with each pieces before the label, the price tags, the reputation that follow those certain brands. Fashion, styling, and outfits is how we choose to be presented to the world. It's a place where you can have a voice. It's a place where you can mark your own marks. And where does that lead us? I'm putting together a, drum roll please, a 10-part series on quote unquote the easiest guide to fashion 101. I will explain fashion in simple layman's term so that you can understand it and leverage as a tool to become more of yourself every single day. As you saw, chapter 1 is today's lesson, which is finding your style, but there will be 9 other chapters / lessons to follow. I'm going to highlight realistic, everyday styling tips that you can use, how we can maximize your closets so that we can be one step closer to building our dream wardrobe. I'm very open to your opinion, so let me know in the comments below if there are any other topics that you would like me to cover. A lot of the topics that I will mention really were inspired by a lot of your comments already, and down the road I may have these chapters speaking more to specific seasons, but for this first go, I'm going to cover all seasons and all purpose. Definitely wanted to speak to my background, the reason why I was so inspired to make this video, and the direction that I am taking with this 10-part series to help you find yourself through fashion. So let's dive into today's lesson, which is finding your style. I've actually received a lot of comments from friends, you guys, and peers that they don't even know where to start, frankly. It's also one of those questions that doesn't come with a single answer because my style has certainly changed in the last few years and will continue to evolve, and it was highly dependent on my life changes and just general priorities in life. So before we start really diving into what are the best tops and what are the best shoes to wear, I think it's really important to take the step 1, which is consider the big factors that influence you. I'm going to propose some questions that you can ask yourself, and just remember there are no right answers, and be extremely honest to yourself. The first question I would ask is, what is your current budget for fashion items? This certainly changed for me whether I was a student or an entry level or mid-level. I think it's something that you have to be cognizant of like how much disposable income per month or per year am I really comfortable spending it on these items, and being super strict about your own guidelines. The second question is, what is your preferred mode of shopping? For me, it was an activity for me to do. I loved going into new stores to see what was dropping that season. So for me, I like to go in as often as I wanted without purpose. That can be kind of a slippery slope, but I also told myself, unless it's a bargain, unless it's a style that I really love, I wasn't gonna purchase. I just understood internally that I loved going shopping frequently, but to know with myself that I can't come home with like 7 bags of items. Personally, for me, I love the feel and touch, so I loved going in person, trying things on versus online. There's certainly online purchases that I can vouch to, but preferably for me was frequent and in person. So this is something that can help you understand why you do the things you do and hopefully put intentions behind why you buy. Third questions that I would ask is, what is your occupation and are there dress codes to comply to? Whether you're in school, have a uniform, or you work as a waitress, or you go into the office job, I think there are certain unspoken rules about what you need to wear and sometimes written rules about what you need to wear. So being super realistic about how much of your fashion items need to comply to this and how much you can deviate from it. For me, my job is very business casual. All of my jobs actually have been very business casual. So I really try to pick pieces that bring that business element, like blazers, but find like different fabrications within blazers that I can wear into my casual outfits. So those are the watch outs that I want to really highlight in the chapters to come so that you can really buy accordingly to your lifestyle, but don't have to necessarily sacrifice the look and the feeling of it. The last two questions are, how important is brand recognition to you? I think initially for me, I really cared about brands. I really wanted to wear something that's easily recognizable. And it was also tied to the fact that reputable brands typically came with good quality stuff. And even to this day, athletic wear is something that I will continue to chase after brands. But certain things like purses or jackets, I'm personally becoming less sensitive to the brand recognition. So this honestly helps me kind of tie back to my disposable income conversation of like, okay, so it's not too important for me to wear things that are easily recognizable or really well known. So I could actually invest in more pieces that is also high quality, but I don't necessarily have to, marry those two together. The last question is, do you prefer to buy new or used item? This really helped me save a lot of money. There are pieces that have been pre-loved and worn by other people, and now the piece has an opportunity to really make it shine in someone else's life. I think that concept is something that I really came to appreciate, so I love secondhand stuff. Obviously, it's very affordable and it's sustainable, so all those good things. Whether it be like vintage shopping or thrifting, I think there are really creative ways that you can purchase your dream items. So why do we ask these questions? I think it's all about setting intentions behind your action. This is something that we do perhaps in other life decisions that we make, but when it comes to fashion and it's rather a lower ticketed items, when I'm buying a $20 t-shirt, I haven't really set intentions behind why I do the things I do in fashion. And when I started to do that, it really changed my life in terms of what do I want to bring into my wardrobe and how does this add value into my life and does it fit with my lifestyle? These were all the questions that helped me reduce the regrets behind impulse decisions and impulse buys. The second step is get inspired. Thanks to the internet, we have so many inspirations. There's media, there's social media, magazines, there's TVs, there's shows, movies, everything. Constantly bombarded with outfits and styles and trends. So the hard thing is really keeping your own identity straight while all of that is going around you. And my recent favorite place has been Pinterest. Every social media has its own set of algorithms that really match the content to your liking. But I think in terms of fashion and styles, Pinterest is probably by far the best tool that I've come across. I feel like every time I pin something and every time I add something to my folder, it's so good at customizing my newsfeed to reflect those things. And often it takes me to another blogger's page, it takes me to another YouTube page. So it's like a wealth of creatives and contents that you can really like immerse yourself into. And then the algorithm picks up, you see more of what you like. It almost cements in your mind of that is the look and feel that I'm going for. I'm fairly new to the platform. It's under the same username, Koustyles. I've been trying to pin stuff and adding it to my folders and defining them as like winter casual and winter formal outfits so that I can easily go back and like, it's almost like a mood board for me to get inspired for my next shopping trip or how to coordinate anything that I already have. Feel free to check it out, but I think it's definitely a useful tool that you can utilize to even find out what your taste is. This kind of ties perfectly into step 3, which is be extremely picky. What I mean by this is really try to see the style, the garment, the fashion in this really objective lens. Do you really like that item and how it looks, and can you envision it on yourself? Versus do you simply like it because it's trending or it's worn by someone that you like, celebrity endorsed? I think you just have to be really objective about the reasons why you like it instead of chasing after quick trends. And really envision your life with it. Can you see yourself wearing it? Is it something that you would wear frequently? Does this fit your lifestyle? And just really try to not forget that the most important part of fashion is the wearer, which is you. So this term started to circulate around my community, cheugy. I don't know if I'm even saying that right. You learn new things every day. Cheugy is defined on Urban Dictionary as the opposite of trendy, stylish in middle school and high school, but no longer in style, when someone still follows out-of-date trends. This may include, but not limited to, fashion, habits. Oh, okay, we don't need to know that part. Yeah, and then the sentence that they use was, my friend told me to change out of my favorite pair of Miss Me jeans because they were cheugy. Hopefully that gives you context on what cheugy means. I'm not even sure how official this word is because every time I try to type it in my phone, it autocorrects to something else. The items that I guess identify as cheugy were the items items that I really just jumped on the bandwagon of fast trends. It wasn't something that I really identified myself with, but it was something that I was like compelled to buy for me to fit in. And don't get me wrong, there are times in your life where doing that makes you feel more comfortable, and you certainly need to do that. But then again, when I look back at those same years, the items that I chose for myself and only for myself were items that I don't still to this day consider chuggy. In a sense, you know, that was who I was in the moment. So I guess my point here is that nothing is chuggy at any given time if it was something that you did for yourself. And with this step, I just want to emphasize, if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. As soon as you are more picky and intentional about the items that you select, you get to wake up every morning and pick from all of your hell yeses. That's just the best feeling that you can have every morning. And that is my I guess 3 cents on how to find your style. You can be your ever-changing self. You can change your answers, and you can evolve as much as you need to. And being honest with yourself, I think, is the main key here through all those steps that I've mentioned. If you found today's content helpful, please let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for future chapters to come. I intend to publish them on a weekly cadence. And please let me know if there are other chapters. This may end up being like 130 chapters, depending on what you guys recommend me. And stay in touch with me on social. You can find me on Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok. I am across all those platforms under the same username, Koustyles, so feel free to find me and stay connected. Definitely love interacting with all of you guys. Appreciate your time and being here with me today. And cheers to being one chapter closer to building our dream wardrobe and being your authentic self. Bye.